Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 65, written by user MetaLibra6. Happy birthday. Wait, that's early. Weird. Hey wait, this conversation already happened. I swear it. My birthday is the 6th of October. This one was quite uneventful with one exception. Let me preface this a little bit by saying that 1 or 2 days before my birthday, I had 3 different and unrelated people tell me, "Happy belated birthday," which I thought nothing of when the first person said it. But by the third time, I was thinking maybe my birthday on my Facebook profile changed somehow. So I checked, and it was still set to show my correct birthday. Fast forward to the night of the 4th, and my partner, after a long commute, got home from work at 7 p.m. and started complaining about a match with his favorite soccer team. They're usually a very excellent team and win a majority of their matches. He was enthusiastically telling me that they had lost against the team that was known to be not so stellar. He told me the score was 7-2, which he repeated several times throughout the night in disbelief. When this conversation happened, I was sitting in the chair at our dining table, and he was sitting on our 2-seater lounge about 2 meters or 6-ish feet away. Fast forward again to the next day, the 5th, and it's about 5 p.m. My partner had just gotten off work and sent me a screenshot of a score message saying that he was so upset that his favorite football team lost 7-2. I told him, "Yeah, don't you remember we had this conversation last night? They lost 7-2 because of blah blah blah." And he said, "What conversation? I have no idea what you're talking about." Needless to say, I was confused at this point and thought he was acting strangely. What is he talking about? We 100% had the conversation. There is zero doubt in my mind. I was there in person. It happened. It wasn't some dream. So I pushed further and described what I remembered. He said, "What are you on about? That didn't happen. There's no way we talked about it last night. They didn't even play until 2 a.m. this morning." So I furiously went onto Google to find the list of game times, and to my shock, he was right. The only game that had a score result of 7-2 was a match that was played that very morning at 2 a.m. my time. There was absolutely nothing the night before when we had that conversation. But I was the only one remembering it had happened. So that, coupled with the odd belated birthday wishes when it wasn't even my birthday yet, made me kinda wonder if I was somehow glitched forward in time to a day later for a short period. I'm still just confused about it. He also denies it happened, including where we were sitting. Case notes, file number 65. Has anything of a similar nature to this, predicting or living the future, happened to you before? That you were wished happy birthday 3 times early might even be unrelated to the second glitch. I think you had a form of foresight, a vision of the future played out as a simulation in your mind. Did you feel at all tired in the days before or after this event? These are the questions I asked the OP, and she responded with, "It's never happened to me before." Both scenarios, if you will, played out totally differently, even though the score was the same in both. The early belated birthday wishes absolutely could be unrelated and just a strange coincidence. I felt normal pretty much throughout the whole thing. Nothing out of the ordinary that I can recall, though I've been going through some medical stuff and my energy reserve has been diminished from what it was. That's unrelated to the event and started long before the event took place. I realize though it's difficult to be able to believe someone who says they're not making something like this up in their mind or having a vision, as there's no hard proof. But be that as it may, as far as I'm concerned, it was 100% real and was another day just like it always was. The whole day happened. It wasn't just a glimpse of a scenario into the future. It was as though nothing was strange except after the fact regarding that damn score. What do you think? A quick note before the next story. If you're enjoying the video, consider sharing it. It really helps. Thank you. Case file number 66. Written by user Black Ops 2 is best. Huge family, noise at all hours. Today was deafening silence. Where is everyone? For background info, the incident happened at my aunt's old one-story house. At the time this occurred, there were 10 people in the house in total. Also, only 3 or 4 were adults, meaning 6 kids that were living there in total. This is important because the house was always loud. Another important part is we lived about half a mile from a local airport where planes would fly all the time. It was loud inside and outside, never a moment of silence. We didn't have money to go out, so someone was always home. The story begins when I first wake up. I had a bunk bed with my twin. My cousins, all girls, shared another bunk along the wall. I notice that it's eerily quiet, but don't think much of it yet. I get up, and in all the other beds, the covers are messy like they got up. No one was in the room. I thought they had just gotten up to go play and eat breakfast. I got up and went into the living room, where I was met with yet more complete silence. The house is usually booming with activity by 11 a.m. Yet, not a single soul was anywhere in the living room. I went into the kitchen next. No one again. I went into both my cousins' rooms on opposite sides of the house. The covers were undone in both, and no one was in either room. I go into my aunt and uncle's room, which was a last resort for me because you're not exactly supposed to go in there unless you have to. I go in to find that their room was exactly like all the rest in the house. Covers unturned, yet no one was in the room. Our tiny attic was connected to their, aunt and uncle's, bathroom. I checked it. Nothing. My first conclusion, was that they all went out to eat for the first time in my entire life without me. I was crushed. I went into the garage expecting to find cars gone, or at least one of us out there. I go out and everyone's car is there. Not only that, but I had stepped outside and had expected to hear something. Plane, cars, people, etc. All I heard, still, was this deafening silence that was so alien to me. Half a mile from an airport, I should have heard something. It was like I was the last person on Earth type of silence. Not only that, but I also didn't see anyone at the airport either. The reality was I couldn't find my family and I was terrified. At this point, I lose it. I sit on a bench and just cry my eyes out. I pinched myself repeatedly, hoping to end whatever was going on, but it didn't work. I end up just sobbing on the bench and watching the clock, hoping this would end somehow, and I'd have my family back. 20 minutes pass, then 1 hour, then an hour and a half, then 2 hours on the bench, then 3 hours. Then out of nowhere, my dad just walks into the kitchen. I saw it from the bench. The door was glass, so you could see through it. I jumped up and ran into the kitchen and hugged him as tight as I could. I asked him, "Where were you?" He just said, "I've been here. What are you talking about?" My jaw hit the floor. Then I noticed my cousins come out of our room that we shared. My aunt comes into the kitchen from her room. People suddenly materialized. I was shocked, but I was just excited to have my family back. Life went on from that point. There was no waking up or anything like that. Let me know what your thoughts are. Case notes, file number 66. This is incredible. I've read 2 accounts now before about people being in dead pockets of the world. One where the person's whole world went gray, and another one at night, where he was just walking around. But the key feature of similarity is that everyone was gone. People, sound, etc. It was dead quiet. Or maybe a better word is lifeless. My guess is somehow you were stuck in limbo between worlds. Our normal server, 7.8 billion players. You, new server. Same stuff but a player count of 1. You. It makes sense in a weird way, besides the obvious flaw of how the hell and why would you go there and how did you come back? Oh, and did your family notice you were gone for 3 hours? The author responded to my comment, saying, "I'm glad to know there are other accounts of this. I don't want it to ever happen again though. And they didn't notice that anything happened besides my scared expression. It was like life just continued on like normal, continuing my thoughts. Now see, that's the detail that takes the glitch to another level. It's not that you were disconnected from the world for 3 hours, but somehow no one realized. So either they interacted with a fake you for those 3 hours, or somehow time lost its meaning for everyone. This is so strange. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe on up. I'll see you in the next video very soon.